Welcome back. We're on page 3 and 3.
Yeah. No.
Page 3 of my notes from the Jehovah's Witnesses where I learn about the Bible.
No.
Mm.
What I was saying before was like, what was I saying before? What
You were saying about the different types of gods and that it would be nice, like the book that you were reading.
Oh, I remember. Okay. I mean, like, in Christian and Catholic and Jehovah's Witness, there's only one God. And Jehovah's Witness is
The Muslims also only have one God.
I know, but let me explain.
Mm-hmm.
In Christian and Catholic, it's like just God. Plain God.
Yes.
Lord. God. Jesus.
Yes.
Or not Jesus.
Mhm.
Jehovah.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you want to call him. One.
Mm-hmm.
But in Egyptian stuff, it's like interesting because there's like powers and not powers, but like there's like magic.
Each one has one ability. For instance, the
Yeah, that's true.
Egyptians may have worshipped cats
There was
or
one god.
alligators or cows like in
There's-
the Hindus.
There's not a cow god,
No.
but there's a frog god. They're minor ones. Frog god is a minor one. But
Okay.
I figured out in this one, and the main ones is Horus. I think he's the falcon god. Osiris is, I'm not so sure. The god of the underworld, I think. There's Isis, either it's Horus's wife, Ra, the sun god, main one, leader of all.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and the alligator god or crocodile god, Scarab or something.
Okay.
I'm not sure. He's a bad guy. Another bad god is Shmet. Smet. I'm not sure how to
Sphinx?
pronounce it. No, Smet.
Okay.
S-K like M-E-N-T or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Smet. She's a bad god. She used to be Ra's warrior, but then she started going out of control, destroying people's villages, blah blah blah. The only way to beat her apparently is to pretend have hot salsa. And then once she eats too much of it, she falls asleep and turns into the god. Or a cow god. So yeah, there is a cow god. Kind of. And the other one, the cat god. Bast. She was the very first god we met. I'm pretty sure. In the book. Bast is the cat god. She had a form of a kitten. Or not a kitten, a cat. Muffins. Sadie's cat. Their mom died releasing the cat. You know why? The cat was fighting Aphasa,
Mm-hmm.
the chaos god. Now, Set is a chaos god, but Asaphis or whatever, he is the true chaos god. He is the one and only baddest serpent. He's a snake. His eye was as big as a house.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean not this house. I mean like a mansion house.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently he wants to swallow Ra, the sun god, and the actual sun, and destroy Earth, blah blah blah, chaos. But Bast was fighting, the cat goddess, was fighting the guy for eternity. The reason she was in the prison fighting him, was because Ra sent her to do that as his last wish. Because Isis poisoned him with a serpent.
Mm-hmm.
He decided to give his Ren, which is a secret name. Basically, it gives her power over him to cure it, because he was dying.
Mm-hmm.
And
what? Don't do that. You're gonna cut yourself.
Okay.
Paper cuts. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And what else? She gave it to her. She healed him, but she demanded him to go to the heavens, to go deep into Dua and never return. She was victorious to have Horus, her husband, to go be king. But
go Horus, go do what? Her husband go do what?
To be king.
Become a king.
Yeah, but she didn't know she just started a massive war. Because, she was blinded, I guess. Because after that, Horus is gone, Ra is gone. Aphasas. I don't know his name. The snake, the only one he feared was Ra.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't scared of anyone else. Ra was the strongest of them.
Ra is the sun god?
Yeah. Ra apparently was the best of them all. Oh, also there's a moon god.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure his name. I was just introduced to him. He is very bad. He's very bad. He's evil.
Mm-hmm.
He's good, but he's evil. He's a gambler. It's a
I
game
see.
senate or whatever. And he eats souls, people's souls, or people's ren, or whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So you just told me about a bunch of gods that have a lot of human traits,
Yeah.
personality traits.
And there's like 1,000 more gods.
Okay.
They're not the ones that that are important at all.
Max, are you the one that uses the bathroom who doesn't flush?
Mm-mm.
Then who is it?
Anthony Jr.
Mama!
But there's like 1,000 more. That's what I was told. Thousands more because they visited a hospital in the Duat or a porthole of space or whatever, Duat, and there was a hospital apparently, and it was full of gods. Like she didn't even know where. It was huge. It was like endless, magically endless.
A hospital for the gods to get healed?
Yeah, because they were aging and no one prayed to them, so they started being forgotten. They forgot their names, even though they were told completely. And, that's where Ra was. They found Ra sooner or later, and apparently when they woke him up, he was an old man with the head, he was like, snack is good. Where is my zebra? And when they handed him his weapons, a crook and flail, I'm not sure what they're called necessarily, he would fight with them. But he would put it in his mouth. He was not completely full because they had to go completely in his night cycle of the Duat. Because every day when he was strong, he'd have all the gods, the main gods, protect him from going through because there were monsters and stuff in there. And the souls that are dead, they would be happy because he's there. And he would light the path for them to go to heaven or whatever, the next place. And he would do that every day. But when Isis ruined it, she caused a war. A bad, bad one.
So you're telling me about a god that's the sun god Ra. He's chewing on his cane like a baby chews on
Yeah, because he hasn't completed
toys.
the whole set. Once they complete the whole Duat, which is a whole nighttime,
prayer.
but it's faster in the Duat. 1 hour is 5 minutes in the Duat, or I'm not sure. But they have challenges, so that's the problem. And once he's completed, he'll be strong, he'll be mature, he'll reunite the magicians and gods. There's magicians that believe the god should be put away and not used at all. That's who are stopping them. And an old guy called Vladimir, the inhaler.
He's a Russian.
Yeah.
Russian
What?
name.
How'd you know?
Vladimir.
Oh.
The name is
Yeah, he's Russian.
Russian.
Apparently the Russians are very superstitious,
Mm-hmm.
and they can see magic. They can see it. They can tell if there's an actual god there. Best a dwarf god.
Back to the little people that are called dwarfs. Have you seen any in your own life?
Yeah.
Who?
I don't know their names or their
Right.
personality at all,
But
but
who?
I've seen some at Walmart.
It was.
Aging problems.
It
Growth
was.
problems.
You've seen some at Walmart when I didn't go with you?
Yeah. Growth problems or
Did you
something.
see the other one smoking a cigarette outside of? You were walking with me by Goodwill
I don't
years
remember.
ago, maybe
I don't
2 years
remember.
ago,
I don't remember.
maybe 3. You were about 5 years old. Must have been 5 years ago.
Well, it doesn't really matter.
You were a
I've
little
seen a
bit taller
bunch.
than him.
I've seen a bunch. They have growth problems. I don't know what they're called.
I don't know why it happens. There are many mysteries. Now, you mentioned all these gods, so I'm going to tell you about Moses, right?
Oh yeah, Moses
Mhm.
was included in this book.
Because
They said he was a magician, a secret magician,
that's what he was accused of back then, too, yes.
an Egypt magician.
So, all
And
these...
he was one of the first magicians to help the world and save the world, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But they called him Messiah.
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
So in Moses, he had, or God through Moses talked about 10 plagues. Plagues? How do you say it? Plagues. Okay. And one of the plagues was frogs.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned that that's one of the gods.
No, there's one frog goddess.
One
She's
frog
a girl,
goddess
but she didn't remember her name because no one prays to frogs. A frog goddess.
anymore.
Yeah, at least anymore. They used to in the
Mhm.
beginning when she was strong and stuff. But then she started becoming less popular. And she forgot her name.
I've been reading Bible commentaries, comments that people write about the Bible, and one of them was that in one book in the Bible, the descriptions about cleanliness and cleaning the camp and keeping pure and covering up your excrement and all of these things, where the bathroom should be, all of these were in such detail that it's almost like a person receiving instructions to work in a nuclear power plant. You park the car over there. Never park the car over here. You put on your space suit before you go through these doors. Yes. All of these instructions.
Oh, down.
And you take a shower before and after work. Right?
Yeah.
Mm.
I forgot to tell you one more part.
Mm-hmm.
You know the hospital I was talking about in the Duat?
Yes.
Well, sometimes the gods got so old and so unprayed to and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They got like really, really fragile and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't move for weeks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They'd still be alive. And the hospital carrier, she was
Mhm.
only one hippopotamus god
Mm-hmm.
that apparently likes Bess.
Likes who?
Bess, because
A person?
the dwarf god.
Oh.
Because apparently they both were the ones that scared demons away. They're both the ones that I don't know. She saved him in a trap against Vladimir's grandfather. So, laughing at him. But what I was meant to say is that after a while,
Mm-hmm.
when that the gods aren't moving at all, she said that apparently they just disappear and never to be seen again. Either they die, one, and they
Mhm.
disappear from the surface of anything,
Mm-hmm.
or two, they get even deeper into what.
They get invisible.
That is also another possibility. Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
apparently you cannot destroy a god. Apparently you can't. But the thing you can do is if you do so much magic to it, you can put it into the duat so that it can never return. Ever. But some
Mhm.
magics only makes him stay on there for a millennia
Mm-hmm.
or a century.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Very interesting.
the second point about Moses was that the Egyptians worshipped many gods, like you mentioned, and the 10 plagues may have been a way of saying, your sun god. Maybe the locusts, there were so many that they were covering the sun. So what? Your sun god, where is he? Isn't there darkness every day? You see? How mighty is your sun god that there is darkness all around? Or maybe it was without the
time
locusts.
ISIS almost killed him. He was
And- mhm.
in sleep.
And another one would be the locusts and the frogs and the flies. Maybe they worship flies. I don't know why they would do that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe this was a commentary that the 10 plagues could have been a way of saying your God is powerless. Or you worship flies or you worship locusts. Well, now look, the locusts have eaten all your food. Now what? You're not going to worship the locusts anymore.
They'd be like,
I am the true God, Jehovah. Okay? The God of Moses. God bless you and those that surround you. Let's go to the next video.